Hey, friends. Tonight we gently explore the world of early American Christians, where faith was stitched quietly into each breath and step. You settle under a quilt, the soft weight of the blanket holding you like a gentle prayer. The flickering candle on your nightstand echoes the soft glow of lanterns once carried through the hush of colonial nights. Outside, the crickets might be singing their own sleepy hymns, but in here, your world is still. You might find this oddly calming. But imagine how these small gatherings of neighbors and family would meet in the cool of the evening, sharing stories and soft laughter. They didn't have the glow of cell phones or the hush of podcasts, only the warm circle of candlelight, the gentle murmur of prayers that seemed to drift like smoke up to the rafters. Their faith was as tangible as the rough-hewn benches they sat upon, as real as the homespun shawls draped around their shoulders. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy these calm tales. And let me know in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is in your little corner of the world. Now, dim the lights. Maybe turn on a soft fan for a background hum. And let's ease softly into tonight's spiritual journey together. You take a slow breath as you imagine the flickering shadows of those early nights. The air was scented with beeswax and wood smoke, each note weaving through the whispered hush of the faithful gathered there. In the small colonial churches, the floorboards creaked with each shifting weight. But no one seemed to mind. The creak itself was a gentle hymn, part of the music of reverence. You let your eyes drift shut for a moment, listening to the quiet story of that candlelit hush. It's easy to imagine yourself slipping quietly into one of those pews, the wood warm under your hands. There's a gentle sense of belonging here. Even though the world outside might have been uncertain and wild, many scholars still find wonder in the simple power of those gatherings, how faith turned fear into courage, how prayer was a balm for weary hearts, a soft, known fact echoes in your mind. Did you know that these colonial communities often gathered not just on Sundays, but on quiet weekday nights for candlelight services or prayer meetings? It was a chance to pause, to breathe deeply, to feel the comfort of community in a world that could be harsh and uncertain. And in those gentle hushes, small miracles bloomed. A child's laughter cut through the stillness like a promise of tomorrow, while an old woman's whispered prayer carried the weight of generations. In the flicker of the candles, every line of every face was softened and kind. There's a lesser-known story that fits in this gentle tapestry. Sometimes, traveling ministers, humble men with soft-spoken voices would stop by these gatherings, offering stories of faith from distant settlements. Their tales were simple, but they carried the warm weight of truth. Like bread shared among friends, they spoke of quiet rivers winding through endless forests, of small miracles seen in the hush of dawn. It was enough to make the hearts of these early Christians glow a little brighter. Even as the shadows of the wilderness loomed beyond the village, you smile softly at that, feeling the edges of sleep pulling at you already. The room around you seems to hush in gentle agreement. It's the kind of story that seeps deep into your bones. A quiet song of faith that's been humming for centuries. In those small gatherings, people found a peace that carried them through the long nights and harsh winters. You picture the glow of firelight on simple wooden walls, the smell of fresh-baked bread lingering from the day's labor, the children nodding off in their mothers' laps, the men leaning back with a sigh of contentment. Outside, the wind might have howled through the bare branches, but inside, the faith of these gentle souls was a warm hearth. A soft chuckle bubbles up as you think about how they might have gently scolded you for fidgeting in the pews, just as you might have done back in your own childhood church. Some things never change. Even across the centuries, remember that flicker of candlelight. Remember the soft creak of the floorboards. Let those sounds and scents and gentle movements settle around you like a quilt of faith, woven through with small jokes and gentle truths. In these early colonial nights, there were no spotlights or grand cathedrals, just small homes turned holy by the presence of kind hearts and shared prayers. You can almost feel the hush of those rooms, the way the silence was alive with reverence and the quiet thrum of the human spirit, the gentle laughter of friends, the soft voice of a neighbor reading aloud from a beloved passage, the comforting weight of knowing that even in the dark, you were never alone. That is the heart of this whispered hush of colonial faith. As your breath slows, you let the edges of those candlelit nights blur softly together. The names of the towns fade into a gentle mist. Concord, Williamsburg, Salem, but the spirit remains, a shared faith that glowed quietly through each long night. And you, dear listener, are part of that hush tonight. Your own small faith, your own gentle wonder, joins the soft murmur of the past. Let it cradle you now. Like a soft hymn of belonging, let the flicker of these gentle hearts be a balm for your own. You shift softly under your blanket, eyes half closed, as we drift from the quiet rooms of colonial faith to the gentle laughter that echoes along the riverbanks. In the warm hush of the summer dusk, you find yourself wading through slow, shallow waters, the sun a sleepy golden haze above. This is the world of the river baptisms, where faith took shape in the gentle embrace of rippling water, and laughter wove through the soft lapping of the current. You might find this oddly calming, but imagine the scene. Friends and neighbors gathered on the river's edge, the cool water swirling around their ankles, voices lowered in reverence, but always with the soft ripple of joy beneath. The preacher's voice rose clear and kind over the hush of the river, each word a blessing that seemed to dance on the silver surface of the water. The river itself was a gentle witness. The sunlit shallows shivered with every step. The cool rush of water, a balm for tired feet and sun-warmed skin. Here, faith was no grand proclamation. It was as soft and sure as the river's flow, steady and true, a well-known tradition. Baptism by full immersion was a sacred rite for many of these early communities, a chance to let the old self slip away and rise again, clean and new, in the quiet hush of the river. These rituals took on a simple power no cathedral spires, just the open sky and the hush of moving water. But did you know that some early American communities, particularly in the warm southern colonies, would gather in these rivers at dusk, the hush of twilight adding its own benediction, the cool air, the golden glow, the laughter that rose as feet slipped and splashed in the soft riverbed? It was a moment where faith and joy wove together like the ripples themselves. You smile at the thought of it. The gentle humor of someone losing their balance mid-blessing, a shared chuckle that rose and fell with the river's gentle song. Even in these solemn moments, laughter was never far behind a gentle reminder that faith can be both serious and softly silly, like a hymn hummed under your breath as you drift to sleep. Many scholars still find wonder in how these river baptisms mirrored the deeper mysteries of faith, the hush of the water, the breath held beneath the surface, the quiet hope that always rises again. It's a story as old as the rivers themselves, flowing on and on. You close your eyes and imagine the scene, warm sand underfoot, the gentle tug of the river's current. The preacher's hand steady on your shoulder, you feel the hush of the gathered crowd. The way the world seems to pause as the water closes over your head, in that fleeting hush, there's a promise of renewal, of forgiveness, of belonging. And when you rise again, sputtering softly and laughing at the way the water clings to your eyelashes, there's a hush of reverence that settles back over the riverbank. It's as if the very water has blessed your bones, and you step forward into the golden glow of the evening with a heart made light. In the gentle swirl of river water, there's a story of a young girl who, legend says, always held a tiny flower in her hand as she stepped into the water, a symbol of new beginnings. She'd whisper a quiet prayer into the petals before letting them go to drift downstream. No grand sermon, just a small, fragrant offering of faith. You feel your own breath deepen, the quiet river current of sleep lapping at your thoughts. The stories of those gentle baptisms settle like a soft wave, washing away the noise of your own day. You let them cradle you, the laughter and the hush, the warm dusk and the gentle tug of the river's song. Remember the gentle hush of the colonial homes, the flickering light of candles. Now, let the river's soft laughter carry that hush forward, weaving it through the cool rush of water and the warm glow of twilight. The faith of those early American Christians was not a loud thunder. It was a river's hush, a soft song in the dusk. You could almost hear the splash of feet on wet sand, the way voices carried low and kind over the ripple of the current. You can feel the hush that settled over the river as each new soul stepped forward. The laughter that rose when they emerged blinking into the golden light. There's something so tender about it all. No grandeur, no pompa, just the steady, quiet work of faith and the soft glow of community. As your breathing slows, you let the hush of that river baptize your own thoughts. Let the gentle laughter and soft splashes ease your worries. Let the flickering reflections of faith dance across the river of your mind. You are a part of that river now, part of the soft flow of faith that winds on and on. Even in the quietest night, the river's song carries you forward, a lullaby of water and whispered prayer. Let it wash over you. Let it carry you gently along, and know that the gentle laughter of faith is never far from the hush of prayer. You shift softly in the gentle cradle of your bed, the whisper of sheets like river water at your feet, and let yourself drift to the next gentle glow. The lantern-lit chapel hums softly, its light a warm honey hue that seeps into the sleepy folds of your mind. You picture yourself stepping into that wooden chapel, the floorboards sighing under your feet as you find a quiet pew near the back. The lanterns glow softly on the walls, each one a small sun, each flicker of flame, a gentle reminder of the steady faith held here. The warm wood of the pews smells faintly of pine, a clean scent that grounds you in the present. Even as you drift through the gentle stories of the past, you feel the hush of the small congregation, the way each breath seems to slow as the gentle hum of hymns begins to rise. You might find this oddly calming, but the simple melodies of those hymns sung in voices both weary and joyful held a power beyond the walls of the chapel. There were no grand pipe organs, just the warm rise and fall of voices blending together, each note a thread in the soft tapestry of faith. It was in these small wooden chapels that early American Christians found comfort on dark nights. Lanterns swung from simple hooks on the beams above, their glow catching the worn grain of the wood. Each lantern was like a miniature sun, pushing back the gentle dark, a symbol of the light they carried in their hearts. A well-known fact from this time, the lanterns were often made of tin punched with small star or heart patterns, creating a gentle dance of light and shadow that shimmered across the walls as the flame flickered within. The patterns themselves were as humble as the prayers they illuminated, but in the quiet of those chapels, they shone like the brightest constellations. Many scholars still find wonder in how these humble chapels became sanctuaries, not just of worship, but of warmth and quiet humor. A small child might nod off and snore softly beside their mother, the preacher's voice weaving through their dreams like a lullaby. An old man might cough and mutter a quiet apology, the sound no interruption. But part of the living hush of the room, a lesser-known story speaks of a preacher who would pause mid-sermon to gently relight a flickering lantern, his soft chuckle warming the room like a second flame. Even the light, he'd say, needs a little help from time to time. The congregation would smile, the flicker of laughter as warm as the lantern glow. You smile too, feeling that gentle humor settle around your heart like a soft shawl. There's something deeply comforting in the idea that faith was never meant to be perfect or polished, just steady and kind. Like the glow of those little lanterns, you close your eyes and imagine the light shimmering across the faces around you, each face lined with care but also softened by the hush of shared devotion. The creak of the wooden pews beneath you is like the steady breath of the earth, a quiet music that lulls you deeper into peace. Remember the river's hush, the gentle laughter of the water. Now let the glow of these lanterns warm your thoughts. Let the flickering shadows dance through your dreams. Let yourself sink into the soft hum of those voices. The gentle rise and fall that was as much a part of the chapel as the lantern light itself. You can almost hear the preacher's low voice, weaving through the soft rustle of skirts and the quiet shuffle of boots on wooden floors. His words are slow and sure, spoken not to stir the mind to feverish heights, but to soothe the soul into gentle faith. There's no fire and brimstone here, just the steady glow of hope. A lantern in the night, and outside, the dark might have been deep. The cold might have crept under the eaves, but inside, the lanterns glowed steady and kind. In the gentle hush of that warm room, there was a promise that no matter how dark the night might be, there would always be light enough to guide the way. You let that promise settle over you, a gentle weight that soothes rather than burdens. Let the glow of the lanterns fill your thoughts. Let the soft creak of the pews lull you deeper. You are safe here, in the gentle hum of that wooden chapel, in the warm light that never wavers. As your breath grows slow and steady, you remember the hush of those early river baptisms, the laughter that rose with the dawn, and you carry that gentle laughter here to the soft glow of the lanterns, to the whispered prayers that rise like warm breath into the quiet night. In the flickering glow, faith is not a grand show, it's a steady warmth, a quiet strength, a soft smile shared between friends. It's the small, gentle hum that weaves through every breath and every step, a hush of love that never fades. You shift softly again, your head resting against the pillow like the worn wood of these old pews, and let the warmth of the lantern glow carry you into the quiet woods beyond the chapel. Here, the hush deepens, the lantern light softens into moonlight, and you find yourself walking a gentle pilgrimage path that winds through the forest where faith and wonder meet under the watchful gaze of the stars. The path is a soft ribbon of earth, worn smooth by countless feet. You might find this oddly calming, but there's something so soothing about the way the leaves whisper above you. Each footstep a gentle hymn in the hush of the night. The moon filters through the branches, a pale glow that seems almost to hum with the prayers of those who walked this way long before you. These were the old pilgrimage paths, trails of quiet devotion that wound through the hills and woods, connecting distant communities of faith. No grand processions, no clamor or pageantry, just the soft shuffle of footsteps, the murmur of prayers shared between companions, the rustle of skirts and the gentle jingle of buckles and buttons in the night. A well-known tradition among these early American pilgrims was the habit of pausing along the path to read aloud from a beloved passage, the flicker of lantern light catching the worn pages of a well-loved Bible. Each pause was a breath, a gentle moment of stillness to let the words seep deep into the quiet heart of the forest. Many scholars still find wonder in these humble pilgrimages, the way they turned the forest itself into a sanctuary. Each tree became a silent witness, each soft breeze a whispered prayer. There was no hurry here, no grand destination, just the steady rhythm of feet on earth, the gentle hum of faith woven through each step. A lesser-known story drifts to you like the soft sigh of wind through the branches. In one small settlement, it was said that the women would weave tiny charms of dried lavender and thyme, tucking them into their pockets for the journey. The gentle scent was both a comfort and a prayer, an earthy incense to bless each step on the path. Even now, you can almost smell that soft sweetness, the way it might linger on the fingers and in the folds of homespun cloth. You let that gentle scent settle in your thoughts. Let it weave through the hush of the forest night. The path under your feet is soft, the moonlight pale and sure, and each breath you take seems to slow the world around you to a tender hush. Remember the warm glow of the chapel, the soft hum of voices and the laughter of the river. Now let that same gentle faith carry you along this quiet path, where the night air is cool against your skin, and the hush of leaves overhead is a balm for your thoughts. The forest seems to lean in around you, a tender cathedral of green and silver. Each rustle of leaves, each crackle of twigs underfoot is part of the quiet hymn of this pilgrimage. You are not alone here. Your footsteps join those of countless souls who have walked this way before, each one weaving their own small story of faith into the hush of the woods. You smile at the thought of it, at the gentle humor of those early travelers pausing to shake a pebble from their shoe or to share a bite of bread. Faith was not separate from these simple needs, it was part of them, a quiet presence in the small acts of kindness and care. As you walk this path in your mind, you feel your own breath slow. Your thoughts ease into the gentle rhythm of footsteps and heartbeats. You can almost hear the soft murmur of a prayer shared between friends, the way the words drift up to the stars and are caught there, shimmering like silver threads. In the hush of this forest, the mysteries of faith seem to glow a little brighter. Many scholars still find wonder in how these simple journeys, no grand destination but the quiet hush of the woods, could hold such gentle power. There's something so tender in the way the earth cradles each footstep, in the way the stars seem to lean down and listen. And so you keep walking, the hush of the forest a gentle balm, the soft scent of lavender and thyme weaving through your thoughts. You let the gentle rhythm of those old pilgrimage paths carry you deeper into the quiet heart of night, where faith is not a shout, but a soft sigh of belonging. The moon overhead is a silver lantern, the trees your silent companions. You feel the gentle weight of the past in each breath you take, the quiet laughter of those who walk this way before you. In the hush of these woods, faith is a soft song, a lullaby for the soul. You shift again, your body relaxing deeper into the soft embrace of your bed, and let the forest hush fade into the gentle glow of another small gathering. A home where the crackle of a hearth fire and the quiet murmur of shared stories fill the air like warm bread baking. Here, faith is not found in grand buildings or long roads, but in the gentle gathering of friends and family. The hush of prayer that weaves between cups of cider and laughter. You might find this oddly calming, but there's something so tender about the way these early American families wove faith into the daily hush of home. The hearth fire was the heart of the house, its glow a steady promise against the night's chill. You can almost hear the crackle of logs, the soft hiss of sap in the wood, the low hum of voices weaving comfort into the room. A well-known tradition in these homes was the evening prayer circle voices, lowered in the flickering firelight, hands held or resting gently on a worn table, each word a soft promise of care. The prayers themselves were simple, as humble as the wooden spoons and hand-sewn quilts that filled the room. But in that quiet circle, faith found a sure foothold. Many scholars still find wonder in how these small home gatherings, simple as they were, became the backbone of early American spiritual life. There were no stained glass windows or towering spires, just the hush of a warm room, and the gentle laughter of children weaving between the words of prayer. A lesser-known story lingers at the edge of the firelight. In one small homestead, it was said that the family dog would always join the circle, his big head resting on someone's knee, his quiet sighs as soft as the prayers themselves. A small, wordless witness to the simple power of gathering and care. You smile at the thought of it, at the gentle humor of a dog's soft snore blending with a whispered amen. Faith was not always solemn, it was warm. It was kind. It was the gentle shuffle of feet on wooden floors and the soft sigh of a kettle boiling in the next room. You can almost feel the warmth of that fire on your own skin, the way the flickering glow softened every shadow in the room. The hush of those prayers was a balm, a quiet promise that no matter how cold the night grew, there was a light here that would not go out. Remember the hush of the forest path, the quiet laughter of river water and lantern glow. Let those gentle echoes settle into this warm room now, where faith is woven into the quiet rituals of daily life. A soft prayer at the end of a long day, the hush of gratitude in the flicker of firelight. The walls are lined with shelves of simple books, psalms and prayers, stories passed down from mother to daughter, father to son. You can almost hear the rustle of pages turned softly in the glow of the fire, the gentle hum of voices sharing those words like a lullaby. And in that sharing, There is a kind of magic. Many scholars still find wonder in how these small moments' voices lifted in the quiet of a room. Laughter weaving through the hush created a faith that was as sure as the rising sun. It was not built on show or ceremony, but on the soft, steady kindness of everyday life. You let that kindness settle over you like a quilt, warm and heavy in the best way. Let the hush of those evening prayers be a balm for your own thoughts. Let the crackle of the fire ease the creases from your day. In this quiet room, in the gentle hum of voices and the soft shuffle of feet, you find a faith that is both tender and strong. The fire's glow seems to dance across the faces gathered close, each flicker a small benediction. You can almost see the way a mother's hand cups her child's cheek, the way a father's eyes soften in the hush of prayer. These small, gentle acts are as much a part of faith as any sermon proof that love is the quietest, surest song of all. And so you rest here in the hush of that warm room, letting the gentle rhythm of prayer and laughter soothe you deeper into peace. The night outside might be cold and dark, but here, in the soft glow of the hearth, there is only warmth and gentle hope. You close your eyes and let that hope settle in your chest, a steady glow that will carry you through the night. The hush of prayer, the warmth of laughter, the soft sigh of the fire, it all weaves together into a gentle lullaby, a quiet hymn that says, "You are safe here. You are loved." You sigh softly, the warmth of that homey hearth still glowing in your thoughts, and let yourself drift now to the gentle rustle of a wagon's canvas, the soft creak of wooden wheels on a dirt road. The night is cool and the stars are bright above, and you find yourself traveling slowly through the hush of the wilderness, a journey not just of miles, but of quiet faith carried in the gentle sway of the wagon. You might find this oddly calming, but there's something so peaceful in the idea of these families, bundled in quilts and faith, riding softly through the night. The slow rhythm of the wheels is like a steady heartbeat, each turn a quiet promise that no matter how far the road might stretch, there is a place at the end where the warm glow of a fire waits. A well-known fact: many early American Christians who traveled by wagon carried small family Bibles wrapped in linen, each page worn soft by generations of hands. These Bibles were more than books, they were beacons, each word a lantern light to guide the way through the dark. Many scholars still find wonder in how these worn pages, ink fading and corners bent, carried the weight of entire journeys. How faith became a steady hum that grew stronger with each mile. There was no cathedral but the sky above, no pulpit but the gentle hush of a mother's voice as she read a psalm by lantern light. A lesser-known story weaves through the quiet of the wagon. In one small caravan, it was said that a grandfather would hum old hymns softly as he watched the road stretch on ahead. His voice was low and warm, a gentle river of sound that lulled children to sleep and soothed the anxious beating of the travelers' hearts. You smile at the thought of it, at the soft humor of a wagon load of sleepy children, their snores blending with the quiet hum of "Shall we gather at the river?" Faith was a comfort here, a soft blanket, a gentle song, a hand held in the dark. You let that quiet hymn settle in your own thoughts. Let it soothe the little creases of your day. Remember the hush of the prayer circle, the laughter of the river, the warm glow of the chapel lanterns. Now let all those gentle echoes weave together in the hush of this journey, each footstep, each mile, a quiet testament to the steady hope carried in every heart. The road ahead is long, but the hush of the night is soft and kind. The moon rides high above, its pale glow a silent companion, and the soft creak of the wagon wheels is a lullaby all its own. Each mile is a prayer, each breath a quiet promise that no matter how far you travel, you are never alone. You can almost feel the rough weave of the quilt tucked around your shoulders, the steady warmth of the lantern light dancing in the canvas shadows. The gentle sway of the wagon is like the slow breathing of the earth, and in that hush, you find your own breath easing, your own thoughts softening. Faith in this quiet journey is not a shout but a sigh, A soft promise whispered under starlight, a hymn hummed in the hush of the night. It is the steady rhythm of wheels on earth, the warm weight of a hand in yours, the gentle glow of the sky overhead. And so you ride on deeper into the hush of the wilderness, letting each mile soothe you further into peace. You feel the soft give of the road beneath the wheels, the faint rustle of leaves along the edge of the trail. Each sound is a gentle prayer, each breath of wind a hymn that carries you closer to rest. Many scholars still find wonder in how these quiet journeys shape the faith of a people, how each mile of gentle darkness taught them to trust the soft light within. There is something deeply comforting in the thought that faith was not always a grand procession, but a quiet ride through the hush of night, a soft song to guide the way. So you let that soft song carry you now. Let the hush of the wagon's slow journey ease you into sleep. You are safe here, wrapped in the gentle glow of hope, the quiet strength of those who traveled this way before you. The road ahead may be long, but tonight there is only the soft creak of the wheels, the hush of the wind, and the gentle promise that faith is always with you. Steady as the stars, you nestle deeper, your breathing slowing to match the gentle sway of that imagined wagon, and let the hush of those slow journeys dissolve into the soft, persistent tick of a distant clock. Now, you find yourself in the warm glow of a small parlor where faith was not only shared in prayer, but also in the steady rhythms of daily life. The gentle cadence of time measured by a well-loved grandfather clock. You might find this oddly calming, but there's a special peace in the slow tick of those old clocks. Each second a gentle breath, each hour a quiet hymn of patience. The clocks themselves were treasures often handed down through generations, polished by careful hands and cherished for the steady song of their pendulums. A well-known tradition among early American Christians was to pause at the hour's chime, no matter how simple the moment, to whisper a brief prayer or blessing. It was a way of weaving faith into the quiet pattern of daily life, a soft reminder that time itself was a gift, each tick a chance to offer gratitude or hope. Many scholars still find wonder in how these humble rituals transform the simplest hours into sacred spaces. There was no need for grand declarations. Just the quiet click of the minute hand was enough to prompt a small prayer and unspoken vow that faith lived in the hush between each tick and talk. A lesser-known story from a small Pennsylvania homestead drifts softly to you. They say the grandfather clock in that house was tuned so perfectly that it was known as the hymn clock, its chime harmonizing sweetly with the evening's quiet prayers. In the hush of the parlor, each note was a lullaby, gentle and sure. You let that music fill your mind now, the soft chime echoing like a bell through the calm corridors of your thoughts. Remember the hush of the forest path, the gentle sway of the wagon, the warm glow of the hearth. All those gentle echoes blend together in this small room, where the steady rhythm of faith is as quiet and constant as the ticking of the clock. The night outside is still, the glow of the lamp in the parlor warm and sure. You can almost feel the weight of the Bible resting on the mantel, the soft scent of beeswax and old wood in the air. Each breath you take slows to match the gentle tick-tock of that clock. Each heartbeat a soft echo in the hush. You might smile, just a little, at the thought of how even the squeaky floorboards beneath the clock became part of this quiet rhythm. Faith here was not separate from the small, creaky sounds of home. It was woven through them, a quiet comfort in each gentle shift of the old boards. Many scholars still find wonder in how these soft, homey rituals shape the hearts of those who practice them. There is a simple magic in pausing to let the hour's chime settle over you, in letting each small sound become a prayer all its own. So you rest now in the hush of that parlor, the soft glow of the lamp washing the walls in amber light. Let the gentle tick of the clock steady your thoughts. Let it become a kind of heartbeat, slow, sure, and soothing. Faith in this quiet room is as simple as a breath, as steady as the soft chime that drifts like a lullaby through the air. The lamp's glow flickers just a little, as if to remind you that even the smallest light can be a beacon. The hush of the night gathers close, warm as a quilt, and you feel the soft weight of sleep at the edges of your thoughts. Remember the soft scent of lavender from the forest path, the gentle hum of the wagon wheels, the warmth of prayer circles and shared hymns. Let all those gentle memories settle into this quiet room, where faith ticks softly with the seconds, a tender promise that you are held in the hush of something kind. And so you breathe in that kindness. Let the slow, steady song of the clock's chime lull you further into rest. Each tick is a small benediction, each chime a whisper of hope. The night might stretch long outside, but in this gentle room, faith is as close as the next heartbeat. You ease even deeper, your breath matching the steady hush of that old clock, and find yourself now in a soft hush of voices. Gentle hymns drifting through the dark as a small group of travelers gather around a campfire. Here, faith flickers in the glow of embers and in the quiet song of voices raised together, weaving a lullaby for the night. You might find this oddly calming, but there's something profoundly peaceful in the way these small groups gathered under starlight, sharing songs that carried hope through the dark. There was no grand choir or polished organ, just the tender harmony of voices and the warmth of the fire's glow. A well-known tradition among these early Christian travelers was the singing of hymns around the campfire soft. Steady songs that lifted spirits and kept fear at bay. Each voice was a gentle promise that the darkness was not empty. That faith glowed even in the smallest circle of light. Many scholars still find wonder in how these simple campfire hymns became a kind of traveling church, a sanctuary in the hush of the wilderness. There was no building here, no pews or pulpits, just the quiet conviction that faith was as near as the next breath. The next note in a shared song, a lesser-known story flickers to life here, one that might make you smile in the hush of this night. In one small traveling party, it was said that a fiddler would tuck his bow into his satchel each night, only to pull it out again at the fire, weaving soft melodies between the verses of the hymns. His music was a gentle river that carried every voice along, a soft laughter in the quiet that reminded everyone of the joy in faith. You let that gentle music weave through your thoughts now. The slow dance of bow on strings, the soft lift of voices blending into a hush that soothes every worry from your day. Remember the soft prayers of the hearth, the quiet rustle of wagon wheels, the tick of the grandfather clock. Let all those sounds blend into this tender song, where faith drifts like a lullaby through the night. The fire's glow flickers and pops, a warm heartbeat against the chill. You can almost feel the rough warmth of the log beneath you, the scent of smoke and pine needles sharp and clean in the cool night air. The hush of the forest gathers close, each breath of wind a soft caress against your skin. You might find a small, gentle humor in the way the fiddler's bow squeaks just a little. No grand performance, just a soft, honest song that carries more heart than any polished stage. Faith here is as humble as the gentle hiss of the fire, as sure as the quiet comfort of voices lifted together. Many scholars still find wonder in how these campfire hymns shaped a people, how the simple act of singing together under the stars built a faith that could weather any storm. There's a sweet kind of magic in the hush of the night, in the glow of embers and the slow, tender rise of voices, so you let that hush gather close. Let the soft song settle over you like a blanket. The darkness outside the circle fades, and all that remains is the warm glow of the fire, the gentle rise and fall of the hymn, the soft promise that faith is here close and kind and steady. The hymn drifts on, low and sweet, and you find yourself swaying just a little, the music weaving through your thoughts like a gentle current. Each note is a prayer, each voice a soft light against the night. You feel the warmth of those voices in your own chest, a steady glow that promises you are never alone. And so you rest here in the hush, the song of faith a tender balm against the dark. Let the music of those campfire hymns carry you. Let the flicker of the fire ease you deeper into sleep. The night might stretch on, But in this small circle of light, faith glows bright and sure. You let that sweet song of campfire hymns fade softly into the quiet of your thoughts. And now you find yourself in the hush of a small garden, morning dew still clinging to the leaves, the air fresh and cool with the promise of a new day. Here, faith blooms not in the grandeur of cathedrals, but in the gentle tending of earth, the slow rhythm of planting and harvest. You might find this oddly calming, but there's a peaceful kind of faith in the act of coaxing life from the soil, each seed a soft promise, each sprout a quiet testament to the slow, patient work of hope. In these small gardens, faith took root as tenderly as the first green shoots of spring. A well-known tradition in early American Christian communities was to bless the planting of each crop, simple prayers spoken over the soil as seeds were scattered, a humble recognition that the work of hands was joined by the grace of the divine. These blessings turned each garden row into a small sanctuary, each furrow a quiet altar of hope. Many scholars still find wonder in how these blessings, so humble, so small, wove faith into the very rhythm of life. There was no choir here, no pulpit or stained glass, just the hush of morning light and the soft, steady work of hands in the earth. A lesser-known story lingers in the hush of this garden. It was said that one farmer, known for his gentle humor and patient spirit, would pause at each row to whisper not only a prayer for a good harvest, but a gentle joke to the seeds themselves. "Grow well, little ones," he would say with a soft smile. "And remember, no wild parties under the soil tonight." The children would giggle at his words. And in that laughter, faith grew too rooted in joy as much as in hope. You smile at the thought of it, at the soft warmth of laughter woven into the slow work of planting. Let that gentle humor settle in your thoughts, a warm echo in the hush of the garden. Remember the soft hymns of the campfire, the gentle tick of the clock, the warm hush of the wagon's journey. Let all those threads weave together in the green hush of this morning. You feel the cool press of earth against your palms, the faint scent of turned soil rising to meet you. Each breath is fresh with the scent of new life-green leaves. Damp earth, the faint sweetness of wildflowers at the edge of the garden. The world itself seems to be holding its breath, a soft hush that cradles every tender shoot. You might find a quiet smile in the way the garden hums with life, even as you kneel in the soil, bees moving from bloom to bloom, a soft breeze stirring the leaves. Faith here is as small and steady as a seed, as patient as the slow unfolding of each new leaf. Many scholars still find wonder in how this quiet labor, so humble, so unassuming, became a kind of prayer all its own. Each seed pressed into the earth is a soft testament to hope. Each gentle watering a whispered promise that faith grows slowly but surely, rooted in the deep hush of the soil. So you let that hush cradle you now. Let the slow, tender rhythm of the garden ease you deeper into rest. Each breath is a soft promise, each heartbeat a quiet echo of the green hush. You feel the peace of it settling in your chest, the gentle comfort of knowing that even the smallest seed can grow into something strong and kind. The sun rises a little higher. The dew sparkles like small blessings scattered across the leaves. The quiet hum of bees and the faint rustle of leaves blend into a soft hymn that soothes you deeper into sleep. The garden, with its slow miracles, holds you in the hush of faith, a gentle promise that life and hope are always waiting to bloom. And so you rest in this gentle garden, the cool earth beneath your fingers, the soft green promise of faith unfolding around you. Let each breath slow, let each gentle heartbeat carry you deeper into peace. The hush of the garden is a quiet hymn, and tonight it sings you softly into dreams. You drift from the quiet garden into the soft embrace of a humble meeting house, its wooden walls glowing warmly in the fading light of dusk. The air inside is filled with a gentle hush, broken only by the soft shuffle of feet and the quiet murmur of voices coming together in prayer and song. A peaceful gathering of early American Christians seeking comfort and connection. You might find this oddly calming, But there's something deeply soothing about the simplicity of these meeting houses. The way faith was shared not in grand rituals, but in the everyday moments of community. The wooden pews creaked under familiar weight, and the flicker of candlelight danced softly on the faces of neighbors and friends. A well-known fact: many of these meeting houses were built with no nails, only wooden pegs and joinery, symbolizing the unity and faith binding the community together. The very structure was a testament to the strength found in gentle cooperation and shared belief. Many scholars still find wonder in how these humble buildings became spiritual homes, where faith blossomed in quiet fellowship. No stained glass windows or ornate altars were needed. The warmth of voices joined in prayer, and song filled the space with sacred light. A lesser-known story from one such meeting house tells of a small group of congregants who would meet late into the night during harsh winters, their whispered prayers mingling with the crackle of a small fire. They believed that these quiet vigils brought peace not only to their souls, but also to the wider world beyond those wooden walls. You feel the hush of that meeting house settle around you now, the steady rhythm of voices blending like a soft hymn. Remember the gentle sway of the wagon, the tick of the grandfather clock, the laughter of seeds in the garden. All those gentle echoes gathering here in this warm, simple space. The scent of beeswax candles mingles with the faint aroma of pine from the wooden beams, wrapping you in a soft cocoon of comfort. The gentle murmur of prayers rises and falls, a steady tide of hope and gratitude. You might smile at the quiet camaraderie, the shared warmth and voices that carry through the chill night air. Many scholars still find wonder in how the spirit of these meeting houses endured, shaping a faith that thrived in simplicity and community. Here, faith was not just belief, but a shared breath, a soft promise carried in every whispered prayer and every gentle note of song. So you rest here now, cradled in the hush of that wooden sanctuary. Let the quiet strength of community soothe you. Let the steady rhythm of voices calm your heart. Each breath you take is a gentle echo of the prayers whispered here, each heartbeat a soft hymn of peace. The candlelight flickers softly, casting warm shadows that dance like gentle spirits across the walls. The meeting house hums with the quiet power of faith, lived simply, gently, with love. And you, wrapped in this tender glow, feel the hush deepen, carrying you softly toward rest. Let the peace of this gathering settle within you, a warm ember glowing softly in your chest. The night stretches wide and calm outside, but inside, faith shines steady and sure like a soft beacon guiding you into dreams. You feel the gentle warmth of that meeting house fade softly, and now you find yourself walking along a narrow country lane bathed in the quiet glow of early morning light. The air is crisp, filled with the subtle fragrance of wildflowers and fresh earth, and the soft crunch of your footsteps mingles with the distant song of birds awakening to the day. You might find this oddly calming, the way the dawn seems to hold its breath. Caught between night's hush and the soft promise of light, along this path, faith unfolds quietly, like the petals of a blossom, slowly opening to the sun. A well-known tradition among early American Christians was to begin the day with a morning walk, often alone or with close companions, reciting prayers or meditating on scripture as they moved through the natural world. This practice wasn't just a routine, it was a gentle pilgrimage, a way to meet the divine in the gentle rhythms of creation. Many scholars still find wonder in how these walks served as both physical and spiritual journeys. How the simple act of putting one foot in front of the other became a prayer in motion, a meditation on the path ahead and the grace guiding each step. A lesser-known story drifts in with the morning breeze. In one small New England village, it was said that a particular stretch of lane was called the Whispering Way because the wind seemed to carry soft, almost musical echoes of prayer along its length. Travelers on this path would sometimes pause to listen, feeling the quiet presence of faith resting in the rustle of leaves and the gentle murmur of the breeze. You let the sound of that whispering wind fill your thoughts now, the delicate susurrus blending with the steady beat of your footsteps. Remember the flicker of candlelight in the meeting house, the soft laughter in the garden, the glow of the campfire hymns, all those gentle moments weaving together along this quiet lane. The light shifts as you walk, filtering softly through the branches overhead, dappling the path in golden patches. The scent of damp earth and blooming wildflowers mingles in the air, a natural incense that soothes and uplifts. You might smile quietly at the thought of those early walkers, wrapped in shawls and cloaks, sharing silent prayers or whispered blessings as the day began. Many scholars still find wonder in the peaceful simplicity of these morning pilgrimages, how the quiet movement of feet became a sacred dance of trust and hope. The path itself became a teacher, inviting each traveler to slow down, to notice, to listen to, be present in the gentle unfolding of each moment. So you follow this soft path now, letting the gentle rhythm of your steps steady your breath. Each footfall is a small act of faith, each breath a quiet prayer. The lane stretches ahead, calm and sure, a soft invitation to rest in the slow unfolding of grace. The birdsong rises gently, a natural choir that lifts your spirit as the sun climbs higher. The warmth of morning settles on your skin, a soft reminder that every day holds new promise. Every step is a blessing. The whispering way holds you gently in its hush, carrying you toward the peace of rest. And as your steps slow, the soft morning light wrapping you in its embrace, you feel the quiet joy of this gentle journey. Let the calm of the dawn cradle you now, the whispering wind carrying your thoughts softly into dreams. You feel the soft dawn light fade gently into the warm glow of afternoon as you step into a quiet riverside clearing. The water ripples softly, catching the sunlight like scattered jewels, and the gentle murmur of the current blends with the hum of cicadas in the tall grass. Here, faith flows as naturally as the river itself, carrying with it stories of hope and renewal. You might find this oddly calming the way water moves without hurry, carving its path patiently through the land, never rushing yet never ceasing. Early American Christians often saw rivers as symbols of spiritual journeys, flowing from source to sea, much like the soul's passage through life. A well-known tradition was to hold baptisms in these gentle rivers, immersing believers in water as a sign of new life and cleansing. This act was both sacred and simple, an outward sign of inward grace, performed in nature's quiet cathedral. Many scholars still find wonder in how these natural settings shaped early faith experiences, connecting the physical world to spiritual truths in a way that church walls never quite could. There was a sacredness in the sound of flowing water, a holy rhythm that echoed the pulse of life itself. A lesser-known story tells of a small community where baptisms were performed under the branches of an ancient sycamore tree by the riverbank. The tree was said to be a silent witness to generations of faith, its roots drinking deeply from the same waters that carried prayers downstream. Legend has it that on certain evenings, the soft rustling of its leaves sounded like whispered blessings, a gentle reminder of the sacred cycles of life. You lean into that peaceful image now, the river's steady flow, the cool water slipping over skin, the soft shelter of the towering sycamore. Remember the quiet lane bathed in morning light, the warm meeting house filled with prayer, the garden rich with tender growth. All these gentle places blend together, a tapestry of faith flowing softly through time. The river's murmur soothes your thoughts, a soft hymn of movement and rest. You can almost feel the cool water, fresh and pure, washing away the weight of the day, leaving only calm in its wake. You might smile at the gentle play of light on the ripples, the way the sun scatters like tiny prayers across the surface. Many scholars still find wonder in how water's quiet power mirrors the spiritual journey, a path that is sometimes still, sometimes swift, but always moving toward renewal. Faith here is not static. It flows, carrying hope and grace to every shore. So you rest now by this gentle river, letting the soft current carry your worries downstream. Each breath is a fresh, clean wave, each heartbeat a quiet ripple. The water sings a lullaby, steady and sure, drawing you deeper into rest. The sycamore's leaves whisper softly in the breeze, and the sun begins to dip low, casting a golden glow over the peaceful scene. Let the river's gentle song cradle you now, the soft flow of faith carrying you toward dreams filled with calm and light. You feel the river's gentle flow fade behind you as twilight settles softly over a small wooden chapel nestled among tall pines. The fading light filters through simple windows, casting long shadows that stretch like quiet prayers across the worn wooden floor. Inside, the air is cool and still, filled with the faint scent of pine and old hymnals. You might find this oddly calming, the way twilight seems to hold the world in a soft embrace. A moment suspended between day and night, a space perfect for quiet reflection and gentle faith. This chapel, humble and steadfast, has witnessed countless evenings just like this, a quiet sanctuary in the heart of the forest. A well-known tradition in early American Christianity was the evening service, often held as the day's work came to a close. These gatherings weren't just rituals, but moments of rest and renewal, where congregants would come together to sing, pray, and share in a shared quiet joy. Many scholars still find wonder in how these simple evening services sustained faith through the long, often difficult days, wrapping each soul in a calm assurance that they were part of something larger, something enduring. A lesser-known story tells of a chapel elder who, during one particularly harsh winter, would quietly lead these evening prayers while the wind howled outside like a restless spirit. His voice, steady and warm, became a beacon of calm that held the congregation together, reminding them of the light that shines even in the darkest nights. You breathe in the quiet calm of that chapel now, the soft creak of wooden benches beneath settled bodies, the gentle rustle of hymn pages turning. Remember the flowing river, the whispering lane, the cozy meeting house, all these peaceful places weaving together into a calm fabric of faith. The chapel's shadows lengthen gently, the pine scent mingling with the faint warmth of candlelight. You might smile at the thought of that elder's steady voice, a comforting thread weaving through the hush, binding hearts together in gentle assurance. Many scholars still find wonder in how these simple gatherings, so free of grandeur, carried the weight of hope and resilience. Faith here was a soft glow, steady and sure, a quiet warmth against the chill of the evening. So you settle into this gentle twilight, letting the calm of the chapel cradle you. Each breath is a soft prayer, each heartbeat a quiet hymn. The fading light wraps you in a tender embrace, inviting you to rest deeply. The world outside grows darker, but inside this wooden sanctuary, faith shines bright and gentle, guiding you softly toward peaceful dreams. The gentle twilight of the chapel drifts behind you as night deepens, and now you find yourself beneath a wide, star-studded sky stretched like a dark velvet blanket over the peaceful hills. The air is cool and still, carrying the faint scent of pine and earth, and the soft chorus of crickets hums a lullaby to the night. You might find this oddly calming the vastness above, so infinite and quiet, reminding you that even in the darkest hours, there's a light that shines far beyond the reach of any shadow. Early American Christians often found deep spiritual solace in the stars, seeing them as reminders of God's constant presence and guidance. A well-known tradition was to look to the stars for direction and inspiration, whether literally, as pioneers navigating unknown lands, or spiritually, as a symbol of faith's steady light in uncertain times. The North Star, especially, was a quiet beacon of hope and guidance. Many scholars still find wonder in how these celestial lights became metaphors for divine guidance, shining steadily through both literal and spiritual darkness. The night sky was a gentle reminder that faith, like the stars, is always there, even when hidden from immediate view. A lesser-known story whispers of a small group of early settlers who would gather outside on clear nights to share stories beneath the stars. They believed that the constellations carried ancient messages of faith and resilience, and that by speaking quietly under their glow, they could feel the presence of ancestors and angels watching over them. You feel the vast night sky settle softly around you now, the cool air wrapping you in its quiet embrace. Remember the cozy chapel, the flowing river, the morning lane, all those peaceful places folding gently into this vast moment beneath the stars? The cricket's song blends with the soft rustling of leaves, and the twinkle of distant lights feels like a choir of tiny, twinkling prayers. You might smile at the thought of those settlers, speaking softly to the night, finding comfort in the vastness above. Many scholars still find wonder in how this shared stargazing became a quiet practice of faith, an act of connection, not just to the divine, but to each other. Across time and space, the stars were not just distant lights, but a gentle presence watching over the faithful. So you rest now beneath this celestial canopy, letting the calm of the night sky ease your mind. Each breath is a cool, quiet wave, each heartbeat a soft pulse in the vast stillness. The stars twinkle gently, a steady light guiding you deeper into peace. The hills lie dark and restful beneath the blanket of night, and you feel the soft hush of faith wrapping you gently as you drift towards sleep. The vast night sky gently fades as you find yourself in a warm, softly lit home, an early American family gathered around a hearth. The fire's glow casting flickering shadows on worn wooden walls. The scent of pine wood smoke mingles with fresh bread, and the murmur of quiet conversation wraps around you like a comforting quilt. You might find this oddly calming, the way a simple hearth can hold the heart of a home, its steady warmth a symbol of faith's enduring presence through all seasons of life. Families often gathered here not just for warmth, but to share stories, prayers, and songs that passed faith gently from one generation to the next. A well-known tradition was the evening family prayer, a daily moment of togetherness that brought quiet peace and gratitude at day's end. This simple ritual wove faith into the fabric of everyday life, grounding each member in hope and love. Many scholars still find wonder in how these intimate moments shaped a resilient spiritual life, blending sacred practice with the gentle rhythms of home and hearth. Faith here was felt deeply in the shared smiles, the whispered blessings, the soft hum of lullabies. A lesser-known story speaks of a grandmother who would softly recite ancient hymns in a whisper. Only she and the youngest could hear, turning prayers into a tender secret passed down through the years. Her gentle voice, warm and steady, became a thread connecting past, present, and future. You breathe in the warm glow of this family scene. The crackle of firewood, the softness of woolen blankets, the faint laughter mingling with prayers. Remember the stars above, the chapel's calm, the river's flow, all the gentle moments folding gently into this quiet space of love. The fire flickers low now, casting a golden hush that wraps you in comfort. You might smile quietly at the thought of that grandmother's whispered hymns, a soft melody of faith carried through time. Many scholars still find wonder in how these small acts of love and faith, repeated night after night, created an unbroken chain of hope and peace that sustains through generations. So you settle in the warmth of this gentle home, letting the soft glow cradle your spirit. Each breath is a warm ember, each heartbeat a tender hymn. The night deepens, the hearth burns steady, and you feel the peaceful presence of faith resting softly beside you. Let the quiet joy of home and family hold you now, a gentle blessing as you drift into dreams wrapped in love and light. Now, let's gently wind down. The soft glow of that hearth fades slowly into the quiet embrace of night. You feel the warmth lingering in your chest, a gentle ember of peace that glows steady and calm. Outside, the world rests beneath a velvet sky, where stars twinkle softly like distant lullabies, whispering promises of rest and renewal. Your breath deepens and slows, each inhale a cool breeze, Each exhale a soothing wave washing away the day's thoughts, the memories of gentle footsteps on winding paths, of whispered prayers in wooden meeting houses, and the tender touch of faith woven through daily life drift softly through your mind like a comforting breeze. Imagine yourself wrapped in a soft blanket, the quiet rustle of leaves nearby, the faint hum of a distant brook, the gentle murmur of voices in a chapel, the warm glow of candlelight flickering, all blending into a soft hymn of calm. Here, time seems to stretch and soften, inviting your mind and body to sink deeper into peace. There is no rush, no urgency, only the steady pulse of grace carrying you forward, gently rocking you toward a restful sleep. The stars above keep watch, the river's flow sings low, and the quiet strength of community holds you safe. As your eyes grow heavy and your body relaxes, let the tenderness of these early pilgrim paths and peaceful faith stories settle within you. They are a soft embrace, a calm companion to your dreams. Good night, dear friend. May your sleep be deep and your heart light. Sweet dreams.